Hello friends, let us discuss about the philosophy of Tulsidas. First, let us have a glimpse of the life story of Tulsidas. The general consensus is that Tulsidas was born in the Soron village of Rajpur in the Eta district. His mother's name was Hulsi and his father was Atmaram. Hulsi gave birth to this great Bhakti Kavi Tulsidas in 1543 AD, a year which has been accepted after a lot of controversy. Some people say that instead of the first cry after birth, he uttered the word Ram, after which he was called Ram Bola, which means uttered the name of Ram. From then on, he was always called Ram Bola. But he was rejected by all his kith and kin. Tulsidas, still called Ram Bola, was left on his own to struggle for livelihood, begging for food from door to door. Narhari Das, who was a disciple of Swami Anantadev of the lineage of Ramanand, became the savior of Tulsidas. He saw Ram Bola and undertook to take care of him. Tulsidas studied most of the valuable gems of Hindu scriptures, the Vedas, Purans, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, Mahabharata, Ramayana, under the guardianship of Shesha Sanatan, his new master. He also studied the philosophy of Shankaracharya. He studied the basic Sanskrit grammar, astrology, poetry, and music. Dinabandhu Pathak selected Tulsidas for his daughter Ratnavali. Ratnavali became the first person for whom he developed a strong attachment. They had a son named Tarak who died in infancy. Tulsidas grew so passionate towards his wife that he could not bear separation. He was very upset upon not finding Ratnavali at home. When he could no longer stand this separation, he left home by midnight, swam across the Yamuna river, and reached her father's house. He went up the balcony of Ratnavali's room, and she was shocked by her husband. Angry about what the husband has done, he rebuked him. "Are you not ashamed to run after me like this? Shame on your love for the ephemeral body made of flesh and bones. Had you loved a Ram like this, you would have transcended all worldly fears." Instantly, the caution words of his guru, Narhari Das, flashed in his mind, which are, "Keep away from women and gold if you want salvation." His eyes were opened. He renounced the householder life immediately and left his father-in-law's house. And then he went to Kashi. At Kashi, Tulsidas discarded his householder dressing and wore the saffron dress of a sannyasi, meaning renunciate. He was fed by people and he recited the name of Ram for long hours in the night. It is interesting to note that he had the habit of writing. Bathing in the Ganges, chanting Vedic hymns, and getting fully immersed in prayers was actually a daily practice for him. His prayers consisted of offering water to the Pittar or ancestral lineage, offering flowers and rice grains to the sun god, betel leaves to Shiv, tulsi leaves to Madhav, and then the fruit during his worship of Hanuman. He was wearing a sacred thread, which is the janev, and a garland of tulsi beads. Now, let's see the philosophy of Tulsidas. Number 1, Brahman. 2, Jagat. And 3, Jeev. Brahman, Jagat and Jeev are known as the three components of existence. Brahman is the primordial phenomenon, but a complex concept. The simple reason is that the individual mind, with its limited capacities, cannot gauge the attributes of the limitless, eternal, omniscient, and omnipotent God. According to the Rig Veda and the Shvetashvara Upanishad, and also the Bhagavad Gita, Nirgun Brahma, or the impersonal God, which refers to God or the absolute form without any form, is the one and only ultimate reality. Neither form nor shape nor color is attributed to God. He is Ishwar, the all-pervading, who is the Supreme Soul, Parama Ishwar. He is in all and is all, yet he is not visible. He is birthless, eternal, beyond boundaries and beyond time. He is neither beginning nor end. He is invincible, unfathomable, and beyond the capacity of imagination of the mind or experience. He is seated in the hearts of all. According to the Rig Veda, he is the God of gods. According to the Atharva Veda, he is the Lord of all beings. Therefore, the incapacity of finding adjectives to qualify Brahman ended up in neti of the Vedas, meaning neither this nor that, which became an apt mode of qualifying God. While elaborating the concept of God, we cannot omit the Trimurti or the Trinity. Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the sustainer, and Shiv, the destroyer. There should be no confusion or difference about these three in the Trinity. They are one and the same supreme energy. But they have different major roles on a grand cosmic scale of existence. Now let us discuss about the concept of God according to Tulsidas. Tulsidas' standpoints with regards to God, the world, and man are very interesting. The influence of in-depth study of the works of Shankaracharya left its imprints of non-dualism on Tulsidas. The poet's own spiritual search brought him closer to his Lord Ram, God with a form. The demand of contemporary religious trends made him search out the oneness of many gods or deities with a form. Tulsidas has not written any book on philosophy, but the maturity of his philosophical thinking and concepts have clearly emerged in his work. The mode of worship presented in the literature of Tulsidas revealed that his concept of God transcends the barriers and characteristics of Nirgun and Sagun. His Ram too crosses all limitations, at times appearing as Sagun. His beauty far surpasses everything and pervades all. Ram surpasses all beauty and attributes of perfection that can be described. Such beauty can be attributed only to the Lord. The Ram of Tulsidas is much beyond being the son of King Dashrath. He has attributed the true esoteric value of divinity to Ram. In a verse, he wrote, "He chanted the glory of Ram, son of Dashrath, and established the essence of his name in the three worlds." Ram is personal God, but the attributes used to glorify him far surpass the limits of time. and space, matter and energy. The glory of Ram is beyond comprehension and is endless. I quote, "The goddess of knowledge, Sheshanag, Brahma, Holy Scriptures, Purans, eternally keep chanting his glory and still state that Ram is neither this or that, which is neti neti." Tulsidas establishes the link between the absolute and personal God, as quoted in this verse from the Uttarkand. It is for the well-being of devotees that the Absolute assumes a human form, becomes a king, and plays perfectly a human role. Tulsidas goes beyond to show the eternal and infinite nature of Ram, saying that very Ram is the origin of truth, consciousness, and bliss. He is eternal, invincible, all-pervading, and beyond all. Furthermore, Sagunai Nirgunai Nahi Kachu Bheda. This verse is the golden key to the poet's philosophical concept about God. It means there is no difference between God with form and without form, proclaim sages or the enlightened ones, the scriptures including Purans and Vedas. The one who is beyond form, shape, birth, visibility assumes a form by virtue of his infinite love for devotees. For Tulsidas, Ram is not only the incarnation of Lord Vishnu, but is Vishnu himself. He presents a fusion of Ram and Vishnu on several occasions. He describes Ram as Dashrath Sutta, that is the son of Dashrath, as well as one of the members of Trinity, Vishnu. Ram is immortal, and in his devotional supplies, Tulsidas calls him Hari. Tulsidas verily established the oneness of God with and without form. Glory to the Lord, who is beyond all the modes of Prakriti and yet is untainted by Maya or illusion, from the Uttarkand. Seeing the lake filled with blooming lotuses, Ram says that its beauty reflects how the Absolute assumes the form of the entire existence. The Absolute Brahman manifests in the form of the universe, from the Kishkindakand. The concept that God is all and all is God, and thus it explains Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that is, the world is one family. Now, let us look at the concept of Jagat, which we usually call world or universe. World includes planets, continents, seas, forests, people, animals, and so on. The universe means the entire planetary system, the sky, the space, the elements. An existence refer to thousands of planetary systems, innumerable universes, and even time, the past, the present, and the future. So the term world in philosophy, in fact, refers to the entire existence. So while describing the philosophy of Tulsidas, saying the word world will actually mean existence. There are three different schools of thought about the world. One says that the world is Maya, or the cosmic illusion created by God. It is ephemeral in nature, yet its attractions are so strong that man gets entangled in this illusion, ending up in multiple cycles of births and deaths and rebirths. As soon as the mind becomes free of illusion, it attains liberation. The purpose of life is liberation from this illusion. According to the second school of thought, the entire universe and absolutely all that exists therein is a projection of God Himself by virtue of His will. What we see and absolutely all that occur form part of this entire drama. Creation and dissolution of universes form part of this cosmic drama. In the form of the soul, God exists in all living beings, but He functions according to different levels of consciousness, and at the peak of consciousness, the soul dissolves, merging in itself, the Supreme Soul, or God. And finally, the third school of thought does not believe in any divinity or godhood and explains that the process of cause and effect, action and reaction, functioning at a macro level is the root cause of evolution and all happens by themselves. The Ram of Tulsidas is much beyond being the son of King Dashrath. He has attributed the true esoteric value of divinity to Ram. In a verse, he wrote, "He chanted the glory of Ram, son of Dashrath, and established the essence of his name in the three worlds." Ram is personal God, but the attributes used to glorify him far surpass the limits of time and space, matter and energy. The glory of Ram is beyond comprehension and is endless. I quote, "The goddess of knowledge, Sheshanag, Brahma, Holy Scriptures, Purans, eternally keep chanting his glory and still state that Ram is neither this or that, which is neti neti." Tulsidas has described different forms of Maya. Let's see the first form which he described. Maya as an eternal, divine, creative power. Like the Vaishnava thinkers Ramanuj, Vallabha, and so on, Tulsidas too considers Maya as a blessing, a virtue and power of God. He sees the world as an illusion, a miraculous dream created by divine power, and uses the term Maya while referring to it. The next form of Maya, Maya as Prakriti or creation. Tulsidas uses the term Maya as a synonym of Prakriti, which is one of the philosophical terms always associated with Purush. Prakriti means existence, and Purush, which literally means man, actually implies Parama Purush, meaning the Supreme One. The world forms parts of the illusion. Illusion is in fact ephemeral in nature. Therefore, everything is ephemeral. Only God is eternal, and this philosophy echoes the philosophy of Shankaracharya, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. That is, only Brahman is the eternal truth, and the world and everything else is illusory. The next one, Maya as ignorance. Maya or avidya, meaning ignorance, results in man believing in the dream world. Taking illusion to be true is caused because of ignorance, which is the cause of all sufferings. As written in the Uttarakand, ignorance profusely manifests itself in devious forms such as attachment, desire, anger, power, pride, lust, envy, and sorrow, and rules the world like the commander-in-chief of an army. Tulsidas points out that Maya has a powerful family consisting of worries, ambitions, desire for son or wealth or fame, excitements of youthful days, anger, pride, and many others. And the worst of all is getting entangled in it foolishly and deviating from the very purpose of human existence. Seeing the plight of people madly running after that which is ephemeral, Tulsidas laughs at them, for they live ignorantly considering the ephemeral world to be true and thus waste the precious human life. Tulsidas says, without the company of righteous people, one cannot acquire wisdom, and without the grace of God, all this is not possible. Balkand. The next form of Maya is Maya as women. It is important to note that the term Maya is also used by Tulsidas for women, particularly to denote their intricate, cunning nature, which form part of very powerful worldly attractions. He states that the nature of women is complex and unfathomable and is the manifestation of Maya. Even sages, saints, philosophers are overpowered by the charms and strong attraction power of infatuation. Examples of great sages like Vishwamitra, Narad, Indra, sun god, and others too who have fallen before the charms of women have been highlighted in our scriptures. In the Balkand, Tulsidas has given an example of Narad. He has portrayed Narad in a similar situation. Narad was introduced to Shilnidhi's daughter to read her astrology, but her charms instantly enamored him. She had a world-charming beauty. Sage Narad, who was known for detachment from the worldly attractions, forgot everything and kept gazing at this beauty. Narad went to borrow the beauty of Hari, another name for Vishnu, so that she can put the garland of Swayamvar around his neck and he owns her. Hari means both Vishnu as well as monkey. To teach Narad detachment, Vishnu blessed him with the monkey face, which certainly did not appeal to the princess, but instead made Narad become a laughing stock in the gathering. It proves that women are indeed very forceful Maya, who can deviate the most sincere devotee from spirituality to make him even curse his very Lord. Narad cursed Vishnu. The monkey face you have given me will be of great help to you in future. You have caused great harm to me. Therefore, you too will suffer because of separation from women. Balkand. Now let's move to the loks, which means worlds, dimensions, and abodes according to Tulsidas. On many occasions, descriptions referring to the infinite vastness of the universes can be seen in the Ramcharitmanas. For example, in the Ayodhya Kand, there has been mention of 14 loks. Again, in Ayodhya Kand, there is mention of earth, sky, and netherworlds. The Uttarakand says, as though the 9 planets had assembled a great army and invaded Amravati, the abode of Indra. And another example from the Uttarakand, the ornament around the waist represents his supremacy over the 7 seas. When many worlds emerge from every pore of the body of Ram, then this supremacy over the seas is meaningless. This shows that Tulsidas in his Ramcharitmanas has agreed to the existence of different loks and dimensions. Moving to the third part of the philosophy of Tulsidas, let's discuss about Jeev. Jeev represents the individual soul which extends beyond humans to all living beings, but is most often referred to as man. He carries in him the imprints of his life of previous species too, and though He has the potential, yet he has not yet attained godhood. So, what is Jeev? It is a living being, whatever be its size, which assumes a form out of numberless forms that exist, and this form takes its shape out of the combination and permutation of the five elements, which are earth, air, water, fire, and ether. The soul exists in all living organisms, but functions at different levels of consciousness as per the evolution of the mind. Referring to Isha Upanishad, Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate, which means, this is the whole, that is the whole. From the whole, remove the whole, and what remains is still the whole. So, this verse confirms the supreme nature of the soul, God from whom the individual souls emanate. Whatever is removed makes no difference to the Supreme. Many scholars gave their version of the Jeev. For example, Madhavacharya said, the soul and Supreme Soul have separate identities, and then he concluded the Dvaitavad, which is dualism. Ramanujacharya came up with the concept that soul and the Supreme Soul are alike, but still, because the part cannot take the place of the whole, they are separate entities, thus giving rise to the new concept, Vishishta Advaitavad, that is qualified non-dualism. Let us now discuss the concept of Jeev according to Tulsidas. The study of the works of Shankaracharya left its strong mark on the mind and heart of Tulsidas, and this influenced his work, that is the Ramcharitmanas. In the Kishkinda Kand of Ramcharitmanas, while consoling Tara after the death of her husband named Bali, Ram explains to her the nature of Jeev, or let's say the individual soul, which has not been used as a synonym of living beings. Ram says, made up of the five elements, earth, water, fire, ether, and air, the gross body is the worst one and is strong in nature. What your eyes see is the mortal sheath of your husband, which lies here in sleep, but the soul is eternal. For whom are you lamenting? Kishkindakand. Thus, the Jeev is identical with Brahman. While Jeev gets tarnished under the influence of Maya, Brahman is spotless, pure, and ever untainted. While the Jeev undergoes the phenomena of transmigration caused by birth and death, Brahman is beyond all, unborn, and without beginning or end. Tulsi furthermore explains why and how Jeev, which has the potentials of godhood, gets entangled in the process of evolution. In the Balkand, Tulsidas wrote, the nature of Jeev is dualistic. It consists of happiness and sorrow, knowledge and ignorance, stability or equanimity, and arrogance as well. At Kashi, Tulsidas discarded his household dressing and wore the saffron dress of a sannyasi, meaning renunciate. He was fed by people, and he recited the name of Ram for long hours in the night. It is interesting to note that he had the habit of writing. Bathing in the Ganges, chanting Vedic hymns, and getting fully immersed in prayers was actually a daily practice for him. His prayers consisted of offering water to the Pittar, or ancestral lineage, offering flowers and rice grains to the sun god, betel leaves to Shiv, tulsi leaves to Madhav, and then the fruit during his worship of Hanuman. He was moving to another interesting topic, the next, body. When a soul leaves a particular body, it enters another body. So we are going to discuss about that. One school of thought states that once it has attained the human body, the soul will keep coming to the world again and again in a human body till it is liberated. He may have to live an animal-like life as per his karma, but in the human body. And the second school of thought postulates that man can regress to animal life or to even lower species according to the evil karma done. And to note, Tulsidas is a follower of the second school of thought. This is proved in the Ramcharitmanas in the Uttarakand, where Kakabushundi tells Garud that one who speaks ill about God, who is the primordial guru, he will be reborn as a frog. He further says that one who speaks ills of priests will be born as a crow. And he says, one who speaks ill of the deities and the scriptures out of ignorance will be born as an owl, and he will be reborn as a bat. After discussing the philosophy of Tulsidas, now let's see what Tulsidas has written in the Ramcharitmanas concerning the individual transformation. The mind is the source of all virtuous as well as vile thoughts and related behavior. Religion and spirituality are very powerful catalysts that can transform mental tendencies. Tulsidas has loaded his epic with model characters to elucidate how it is easy and possible to practice righteousness and what are the requirements for this. He enumerates a number of remedial actions and existing practices that can save man from his sad plight. In the Uttarakand of the Ramcharitmanas, it is written that mantra recitation, austerities, fire ceremony, mastery over thoughts and actions, benevolence and donations, detachment, discrimination, yoga, science are all the stepping stones in divine love for Ram. In other words, all these should be practiced for our transformation. Furthermore, Tulsidas says that we should adhere to the 4 ashramas. In the Balkand, there has been mention of various ceremonies such as the name-giving ceremony, first hair-cutting, the Upanayan Sanskar and others, which refers to the Brahmacharya ashram. Also, there has been elaboration of the Grihast ashram. The householder here has to ensure that he is the provider of the family and that he gives progeny for furthering the lineage. There has also been an example in the Ramcharitmanas where Sita offers alms to Ravan when he was disguised as a sage. Sita thought that she would fail in her duty if Ravan, or the Brahman, the sage, returned without any alms from her household. In the Ayodhya Kand, Tulsidas elaborated on the Vanprasth ashram. There is an incident where King Dashrath, when seeing his white hair, he decided to renounce life and make Ram the king of Ayodhya. In this period of Vanprasthashram, one simply oversees that the succession is taken over smoothly. Moving to the sannyas ashram, Ram meets many ascetics and saints living a renounced life during his exile. They spend their time chanting the name of the Lord, performing yajna, reading scriptures, and others. Another important factor for individual transformation is satsang. Tulsidas has put emphasis on satsang, which means righteous company or good company. Satsang is actually a stepping stone for the spiritual seekers. In the Balkand, it has been written that the company of good people gives access to the source of happiness and good fortune which no other can provide. Therefore, satsang helps to dispel ignorance, take delight in prayer and worship, be in touch with teachings of the Holy Scriptures, and lead the meaningful life of a human being. And thus, the power of discrimination and sharpness of mind cannot be developed in the absence of the company of righteous people. While elaborating on the individual transformation, in the Uttarakhand, Tulsidas provides tips for mental health. And these are the preventive measures to be taken. He reveals a one-off prescription which provides the preventive methods which act as powerful healing potion. I quote, discipline, righteousness, good actions, penance, knowledge, sacred fire ceremony, recitation of mantras, donation, and hundreds of practices protect man against diseases. The Ram of Tulsidas is much beyond being the son of King Dashrath. He has attributed the true esoteric value of divinity to Ram. In a verse, he wrote, he chanted the glory of Ram, son of Dashrath, and established the essence of his name in the three worlds. Ram is personal God, but the attributes used to glorify him far surpass the limits of time and space, matter and energy. The glory of Ram is beyond comprehension and is endless. I quote, the goddess of knowledge, Sheshanag, Brahma, Holy Scriptures, Purans, eternally keep chanting his glory and still state that Ram is neither this or that, which is neti neti. The path of devotion, also known as the Bhakti Yoga. For God seekers, Bhakti or divine love is the most enchanting relationship that spreads its fragrance far and wide. This love has been described in different moods. That is why there are 4 types of relationships in Bhakti, which are Dasya Bhav, servant, Sakhya Bhav, friend, Vatsalya Bhav, parental love for God, and Madhurya or Prema Bhav, lover. The path of divine love, or we call it Bhakti, is very smooth. There is actually no difference between the path of devotion and the path of knowledge, because both dispels the sufferings of the world. However, Tulsidas and other sages and saints agreed to the fact that the path of knowledge and devotion is simpler and easier. So says Ram in the Ramcharitmanas. In the Uttarakand, it has been mentioned that, what is there so arduous about devotion? You do not need to experience the hardships of yoga, no performing of sacrificial fire ceremonies, recitation of mantras, no meditation and fasting. You just need to have an innocent heart and righteous behavior. Be content with what you have. The remedy for all problems, the remedy to get rid of Maya, is the Navdha Bhakti, that is, the 9 forms of devotion. Navdha Bhakti is a glaring example of the efforts of Tulsidas in bringing man closer to the Creator or to God. He showed the path of devotion to man and has made relationship between God and his devotee become easier and beautiful. In all humility, sincerity, and simple innocence, Shabri revealed to Ram that she was unworthy, mean, and below even the lowest of all women, as quoted in the Aranya Kand. But Ram said to Shabri that only one relationship with mankind, and that is devotion, which he has. Furthermore, Ram elaborated on the 9 forms of devotion, that is the Navdha Bhakti. The 9 forms of devotion are, number 1, the company of saints and good people, which we call the satsang. Number 2, keen interest and love to listen to stories about divinities or any form of God. Number 3, service to the Guru without arrogance. Number 4, discarding all hypocrisy. Number 5, recitation of mantras with full faith and devotion. Number 6, control of the sensual desires or control of the senses. Number 7, experiencing the presence of God in everything in the world with equanimity. Number 8, satisfaction and contentment. And the 9th form of devotion is no over rejoicing in happiness or over grieving in sadness, which we call the equipoise in the Bhagavad Gita. To conclude, devotion in every way is a complete spiritual discipline in itself. It is an inner discipline which requires no assistance from any of the external means, the fruits of which are already included in it. All means without devotion are fruitless, because one can never attain union with God without love and devotion for Him. Through the Ramcharitmanas, Tulsidas has taught us that how we should live our life rightly by giving us various examples from the characters of the Ramcharitmanas. Tulsidas, a saint poet of the evergreen holy scripture Ramcharitmanas. Thank you.